Can I begin today by thanking our wonderful health workers right across the state who continue to work day in, day out to provide care, love and support for those people in our hospitals. Right across the board, our health teams, it's our doctors, our nurses, our paramedics, our 000 call operators and cleaners in the hospitals. Right across the board, they've done an amazing job over the last 2 years and as we've moved through this phase of the pandemic, and they're complete inspiration to everybody. So on behalf of everybody across New South Wales, can I once again thank you for everything that you are doing to keep us safe during this period of time. Now, as you'd be aware, yesterday we announced our back-to-school policy, and Anne Sherry will make some further comments in relation to the importance of education for our children and the importance of getting our children back into school day one, term one. We set out a plan, we've invested in it, we've resourced it, and we are ready to go to ensure that our schools are able to open in a safe way for our teachers and for our children. As a parent, I know that many parents across our state are anxious about the return to school, and also many teachers are as well. But we have put everything in place to ensure that we can have our schools open in a safe way. The massive operation which we set out to achieve in relation to the distribution and obviously the acquisition of rapid antigen tests has been incredibly successful. Already today we have 5 million rapid antigen tests that have been distributed to schools across our state, and the rest are following over the next day. Can I thank the volunteers in the Department of Education who came out outside their general ordinary course of work to ensure that we were able to receive those tests, package those tests in face masks and PPE, and have sent them out to schools right across New South Wales. It has been a significant achievement, a massive military operation. We've had over 3,000 schools across New South Wales who will be receiving these tests, over 5,000 early childhood centres across New South Wales as well. We've taken a responsibility in that space because we want to ensure that parents are able to have the confidence to send their kids to childcare and early childhood learning as the school term commences. This is incredibly important, and we believe that the plan we set out alongside the work with the Victorian government, who I want to thank as well, because the work that Georgina Harrison has done and with the Victorian Department of Education has ensured that 2 states in a very similar situation have not needed to delay the start of the school term. We've had many students across our state over the last 2 years of the pandemic, in certain cases, have lost a quarter of their school or their face-to-face learning. So it's incredibly important that we have our kids back in the classroom. It is essential for their educational outcomes, for the opportunities in their life going forward. And it's been a key priority of the government. Now, I know that there will be difficulties and challenges as we move through, and that's only natural in the course of a pandemic. We had some challenges in Term 4 last year, where at various points in time, a small number of schools had to close. We do not want to see that this year. It will be an absolute last resort. We believe the measures we have in place will give confidence to parents, confidence to teachers, that we can open our schools in a very safe way. I want to thank the 1,000 people who came forward, retired teachers, as well as final year university students, to provide that buffer and to provide assistance to our education system at this time. I think it speaks volumes of the values of our great state, that everybody is willing to work together to put their hands up to assist, and to have 1,000 people come forward to provide that support, that additional support for our education system. I think we're truly blessed, and I really want to thank those 1,000 people who have come forward, put their hands up, right up their sleeves and said, I want to be here to help. I want to get kids back in the classroom in a safe way. And can I thank the teachers as well, because I know not just parents but teachers are anxious as well, but we believe, if you look at all the other states and territories in the country, that the Victorian and New South Wales plans lead the way. And working together, we've been able to provide the resourcing and the investment, and going out early and acquiring those rapid antigen tests should give confidence that we'll be able to have kids back in the classrooms day one, term one, in a very safe way. But I do accept that as we move through, there will be difficulties, there will be time off school, but in the main, we will have kids in the classroom in an incredibly safe way. I want to speak briefly in relation to booster shots as well. Boosters are incredibly key. We say this at every press conference. Now, as you'd be aware, we moved that date from 4 months to 3 months for booster shots to be provided in our vaccination centres, over 40 across New South Wales. We now have, and it's pleasing to see, 40%, close to 40% of the eligible population here in our state has received a booster shot. Boosters are key, but there is still capacity in our centres. We can administer up to 250,000 vaccinations per week in our centres. So I ask people, if you haven't made that appointment, if you've come back from your summer break, please make that appointment either at your GP, your pharmacist, or at one of our centres. We've seen it very clearly that vaccinations have been the key right across our state in ensuring that symptoms are less severe. The efforts that everybody's made has ensured that that is the case, but we need to continue the push. We need to continue to get vaccinated, to get that booster shot. It's key to keeping yourself, your friends and your family safe, and I want to thank everybody for the effort that they have made. We don't know what's going to come in the future. This pandemic will continue to provide curveballs coming our way, but what we can do as a state and what we have done over the last 2 years is continue to make those efforts and sacrifices. But getting vaccinated and getting boosted, that's the best protection as we move through. And I'm very proud to be the Premier of the state with such a high vaccination rate. And if you look globally, no one really competes with the efforts that we've made in our state. So can I thank everybody for the efforts they've made over the last 2 years, the efforts they've made over summer. If we can continue that final push, it will ensure that we continue to keep our community safe and ensure that we keep society open as we move through. And if we can continue to treat everyone with kindness and respect that we've shown everybody over the last 2 years, remember that we have a lot to be proud of here in our great state. The efforts that our people have made will ensure that we come out more unified and stronger on the other side.